Hi, welcome to my channel and thank you for being here. Today I'm going to do 3 looks with the Center Stage palette by Pinky Rose Cosmetics. I love this palette. I think it's a wonderful, lovely, grungy palette. Yeah, I like the tones in it. However, I do not like the pressed glitters, and that is my biggest complaint. I don't like their pressed glitter formula. If it was a formula that I liked, I wouldn't mind the glitters because I personally like pressed glitters. I have to wonder if the pressed glitters are going bad because I did get all of the Pinky Rose palettes that I do have with the glitters in them from Boxy Pop-Up, and I'm curious as if I was to order it from the site, if they would be that way, if these palettes are older. I don't know. Let me know if you have ordered a palette recently from them and if the glitters are like dry feeling. So I went into that one shade. I missed what it was called because I was busy chatting. Sorry. And I placed it all over my eyelid. It's a very good transition shade for somebody with my skin tone. I don't normally use like quote unquote transition shades, but I wanted a grunge kind of alternative gothy look, and I feel like when you're going for a grungy look, that layering is really important, and just kind of stacking color on top of color. I don't know, so I felt like I needed to start off with that shade, and that's what I did. This is my favorite look out of all 3. I think I like look number 2 too, but I think number 1's my favorite. You'll have to let me know. And I'm going into that flash shade and I'm just layering it on top of that shadow. Yeah, because it needed it. I have no idea what I was talking to or who I was talking to or what I am doing. It is the weekend, so probably one of my kids or something like that. But yeah, I'm just layering that on top, and it's this beautiful brown mustardy shade, like a, you know, what's the Dijon mustard? Is that what it is? The not so yellow mustard, but the darker mustard? I don't know. And then I'm going to go into that cocoa shade and I'm going to place it on my eyelid more, but I'm, blending them all in, and I'm just kind of going layer by layer and placing them, leaving a little bit of a gradient, or space between each color, but also, putting them on top of each other. I don't know, does that make sense? I suck at this shit. So I'm going into that star shade, and because I just felt like it was a little bit more yellowy, and I added that on top. Plus, the whole layering thing that I was talking about. And then I went back into cocoa and blended it out, and I brought it down on my bottom lash line too. Yeah, I felt like I needed to go back through that shade, and yeah, so just throw it on your bottom lash line. And I went into the other shade as well to just kind of bring it around that outer corner to kind of wrap the look around. And then I went into, I think it was called Blooms, and I placed it on the center of my eye. And then I took Floodlight and I used that as the shimmer all over my lid. It was a little bit kind of warm, I don't know, but it's a really pretty shade. And then I went into Glam, I think is what it's called, and I placed it more towards the center of my eye. I added a wing, and this is the finished look. What do you think? I like it. Yeah, I felt good in it, honestly. And I was wearing all black, so it went with the look. So I'm going into Weekend for the second look, and I'm placing it all over my eye. This is kind of a reddy shade, and as you can see, I dyed my bangs, and I'm wearing pink brows, to go with the season of Valentine's Day in February, I guess. I don't know. But I am winging the shadow out instead of a round look this time, because, you guys know I like to wing things out. That's just how I roll. And I'm just blending it and layering that shade to get the color payoff that I want. And then I take Celebrity, and I throw that on my lid, on my, for my transition, so up on my brow bone and stuff, just to kind of blend out that one shadow. Um, I think it did an okay job, it worked. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a good day. Let me know down below how your day is going and what your plans are. I'm going into that basic shade and I'm placing that on my outer corner, and tried to be careful not to let it get super crazy, kind of winging it out, but I didn't want to cover anything up too much, but I did want a deeper, outer corner area, and I really do like that shade. It is anything but basic in my opinion, but it's also like, I think the deepest shade in that palette. I don't know. But yeah, and then I'm going into Weekend again, and I'm just going to throw that on my bottom lash line. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just using a pencil brush. I don't ever pay attention to brushes, really. I have my favorites that I seem to gravitate towards, but I don't have favorites for certain things or anything. And I'm going to take Public, and I'm going to throw that on my eyelid just like that. I think that shimmer goes perfectly well with that basic shade. So yeah, and then I took Scandal, which is that press glitter, and I don't recommend this. I don't, press glitter's not eye safe, but this glitter like flaked away. You really need to use a glitter glue with it if you do it, but I'm not responsible for your eyeballs. And yeah, I just didn't like it. So I went to the ABH Norvina Trio cake liners, and I threw on this weird wing thing. I don't know what it's called when you do this. Cut crease? No, it's not a cut crease, but sort of with liner. I don't know. But I threw that on because I felt like, I don't know, it went with the look and the bangs, and I don't know, I felt super festive. So look number 3, I'm starting off again with Celebrity. I am surprised at how much I use this shadow. Again, it's not really, I normally hate these types of shadows and palettes, but for whatever reason, I felt like using it a lot. So yeah, I used it as the transition again. It's kind of a, I don't know, nude, yellowy, I don't know. I took that one shade, I think it was called Havana. I didn't see it and process it because I read the screen as I do these. By the way, I don't have the palette in front of me, but I just took that one shade and I threw it all over my eyelid. And I kind of wanted to do a halo eye just to kind of do something different, and I didn't really love the way that this turned out, but it looks okay-ish. I don't know, you'll have to let me know. It definitely isn't my favorite look, that is for sure. And not because of the shadow's fault, but just kind of what I decided to do with the look. So yeah, and I think that one shade that I'm using like actually matches my hair pretty well, don't you? And I brought it down onto my bottom lash line just like that, just because, you gotta level it out and even up the eye, otherwise it'll look too top heavy. And I feel like it kind of helps with my bags underneath to bring it down. It also helps with creasing because I do get creasing on those wrinkles down there, and I feel like it just helps. And then I took that yellowy shade, I missed what it was called, and I placed it on top of that because I felt like I needed another, I don't know, oomph of color or gradient. I took some concealer and threw it down on the center of my eye, and I think that this is where I went, like where things got problematic for me. This concealer was super dry and it kind of made my eyes look even more wrinkly with the shimmers. So I took Public and I placed it on the outer portions, and then I took Blooms and I placed that on the center. And yeah, I think that the concealer is where it really got messy. It wasn't a hydrating concealer. It's a very drying concealer. It's something I'm just trying to use up, and it's definitely not something I would put on my eyes again, but I do think that maybe my eyes wouldn't have looked so wrinkly and things would have been better if it wasn't such a dry formula, and so it was just kind of my own fault. And then I threw blooms in the center, or for my waterline, and this is the finished look. What do you think? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching this video. Hope to see you next time. Bye.